I complimented a stranger's necklace at the grocery store, and she started sobbing uncontrollably. I was standing in the checkout line at Safeway on a random Tuesday afternoon, exhausted from work and debating whether I actually needed the frozen pizza in my cart. The woman in front of me had this beautiful silver necklace with a small bird pendant that caught the light perfectly. I'm not usually the type to talk to strangers, but something about it reminded me of my grandmother's jewelry collection. "That's a gorgeous necklace," I said, smiling. She froze mid-transaction, credit card hovering over the reader. Then she turned to look at me, and I watched her entire face crumble. Tears started streaming down her cheeks instantly. Not gentle crying. Full body shaking sobs that made the cashier drop the receipt she was holding. "Ma'am, are you okay?" the cashier asked, genuinely concerned. The woman couldn't speak. She just stood there crying, one hand pressed to the necklace, the other clutching her grocery bags. I felt my stomach drop. "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to upset you." She shook her head violently, still unable to form words. People in line behind me were starting to stare. One guy pulled out his phone. The woman finally managed to choke out, "You have no idea what you just did." That made it worse. Now I was terrified I'd accidentally insulted her somehow. "I really didn't mean anything by it," I said quickly. "It's beautiful, that's all." She grabbed my arm, tears still pouring down her face. "Can you come with me? Please, just for 5 minutes." Every self-preservation instinct I had screamed no. Strange crying woman asking me to leave a public space with her? Absolutely not. But something in her eyes stopped me. Pure desperation mixed with something that looked like hope. "Okay," I heard myself say. 5 minutes. The cashier called for a manager as we walked toward the store exit. The woman led me to a bench outside, still crying, still gripping that necklace. She sat down and took 3 shaky breaths before she could speak. "My daughter gave me this necklace 3 years ago," she said, "right before she died." My throat tightened. "I'm so sorry." She was 16, leukemia. The last thing she said to me before she went into surgery was, "Mom, when people compliment your necklace, it means I'm watching over you." I felt tears spring to my own eyes. "She made me promise," the woman continued, voice cracking. "Promise that every time someone complimented it, I'd know she was there." I sat down beside her, my groceries forgotten in the cart near the door. "For 3 years, nobody has said anything. I wear it every single day. To work, to the store, to church, everywhere. And nobody ever notices." She looked at me with red, swollen eyes. I started thinking maybe she wasn't there anymore. Maybe I made up what she said because I couldn't handle losing her. Maybe the necklace was just a necklace. She touched the bird pendant gently. Then you walked up and said exactly what I needed to hear. I didn't know what to say. We sat in silence for a moment while she composed herself. "What was her name?" I finally asked. "Stella." The woman smiled through her tears. She loved birds, wanted to be an ornithologist. This was a robin because they symbolize new beginnings. That's beautiful. She picked it out herself, saved her allowance for 6 months. The woman wiped her face with her sleeve. "I'm sorry for freaking out like that. You probably think I'm insane." "I don't think you're insane at all." She squeezed my hand. "Thank you. For noticing. For not running away when I started crying. For sitting here with me." "Of course." We sat for another minute before she stood up. "I should let you get back to your shopping." I stood too. "I'm Rachel, by the way. Denise." She smiled. A real smile this time. "And thank you, Rachel. You have no idea what this meant." She started walking toward her car, then turned back. "Actually, you do have an idea. Because you took 5 minutes to sit with a crying stranger instead of pretending you didn't see her. That tells me everything about who you are." I watched her drive away, and for the first time in months I felt like I'd done something that actually mattered.